Libra.
Hey Libras, and Happy New Year 2013. We're going to be checking your chart to see what January will be bringing for you. We're going to start out with that you are going to have a very, very busy time. Anything to do with home and home matters, your residence, where you live, your past and your roots, and parents also, they may be needing some support from you, or you may be the one needing some support. But your home life is going to be really busy. There might be some points of transformation. There might be upgrades coming in here, redoing, you know, whether it's new floors, new walls, or bathrooms. You know, it's a great time to start off on those projects right now. I say it's crowded because you're going to have both the Sun and Mercury and the new moon you're going to have, and Pluto in your 4th house, and then joined by Venus a little bit later in the month. So a lot of activity here. So it's going to be your foundation to actually work from and work out of. And we're going to start a little bit looking just at your outer transits, just because they're going to lay the foundation for this entire year, so we can get little insights on how they're going to shape you personally, as we kind of look in which houses they're going to be expressing themselves from, which platforms they're going to be expressing themselves from. Now, if you haven't heard the forecast, the general forecast for 2013, you may want to listen to that afterwards, where I've gone into more detail on how this is going to affect each and every one of us. But here you'll know where it fits in for you. So we'll start out with Neptune for you. It is entering your 6th house, and it did that last year as well, 2012. It kind of dipped in. It was there for a little bit. So you early Libras, you got to feel for it, what that would do. It kind of opened doors to something that's a little bit more ideal. And for others, you might have felt that, ooh, it just confused you. You know, it's like, ooh, what's happening here? Especially in the work field. And I say the early Librans because it just went in a few degrees before it back out into Aquarius, but now coming in, it's going to stay here. No more retrogrades, okay? So it's landing in your 6th house. This means that your every day-to-day routines that you've had for years, that have worked perfectly for you without even thinking about it, you just do and you act, you might start feeling that these routines are changing, not by necessarily your conscious choice, but they're changing for you, and you're going to have to adapt and change with it. So it could be a little confusing. You might feel that time will start warping on you. If you've always been punctual, maybe now you might see that you might come a little late, you know, and so, but once you get through these first few degrees of it and tuning into the new frequencies, you're going to find your way, and you're going to be okay with it. In fact, Neptune in the 6th house for you is inspiring you to look at new ways as far as your health and working out, and how you eat, the way you eat, why you should eat when and not. So Neptune will guide you. You will be inspired, and you might even find groups of people that you can do this along with. You will also probably start tuning into, should I say, new ways of thinking, new philosophies that you might have been shut off from before, but now kind of really opening up that scope. You have Jupiter there in your 9th house, and so that means that you are seeking to expand, seeking to understand, seeking to see how you can grow in new ways, and not as much as focused into this physical dimension, this earthly dimension. You have a good grip on that. You've always been the balancer, but it's more now like your spirit is calling. So whenever you hear this whisper, this call, or this prompting to check out this or check that, take on new studies, I see you doing that over this whole year. It is giving you the opportunity. You have Jupiter there in Gemini, so that's really not just taking one course, but it's actually, you can have multi-courses, parallel courses, kind of taking off the tops of these topics just to get a little feel here and there what they are before you find the direction that you want to really hone in on and expand. So this Jupiter, there's new people to be met, new friends to be made as you go along. And you will see that partners and people that you attract might be very different, a different crowd than what you used to hang out with. You know, you've got Uranus in your 7th house there. For the people that you attract and partners, you might start looking for a new type of partnership, new love, with a different expression from what was important to you earlier on. Now it's more like you would like somebody who is a little bit more geared towards thinking outside of this box, and somebody who's humanitarian, and somebody who doesn't really conform to the old dogmas. You want somebody that you can look up to that may stand out in a crowd due to being unique. And it's also your own inner uniqueness that is going to be surfacing. And maybe it is your partner who's going to be triggering this and bringing this uniqueness out in you to be true to yourself. So that's an exciting path that you will be having. And then your finances, let's talk about that a little bit. Saturn is in your 2nd house for personal income, and Saturn will probably be a little restrictive. You might have to watch out how you're spending money and what you're spending it on. Instead of having this flow of income that you're used to, suddenly it might be cut off or jeopardized in some way, or held back from you, or you'll get a hang of it and it's not all bad. It might help you actually to hone in and focus on securities for the future. So where you may feel that sources are drying up right now, it may be the universe looking out for you ahead of times, how you can lay money aside and build that security over the long run. So also it's about your values. So it's not just material values, but what you value, what is important to you. It's like being more true to those values and what you look for in people around you. If you were able to kind of like just go with the flow with some superficial people around you, you may not want to actually go with that flow anymore. Maybe it's like you've had it with that. I mean, that Saturn has been in Libra for 2.5 years, and you just came out of that here now, 2012, where you had to just balance people and places, relationships, and it's just a really difficult and tough time, and where you might have felt somewhat exhausted and fatigued. You're done with that. And maybe because it fatigued you so much that you had to be that midpoint between people and groups. Right now it's more like you know what you want and what you don't want, and you're going to peel that off. Anything that's superficial may not appeal to you anymore. You would rather have fewer friends right now at this time, but them being authentic, that can share with you and journey with you and your values. So you will see that. And then we have, in the beginning of the month, we got Venus in your 3rd house for shorter trips, but also communication. And Venus is always very joyful and happy and warm and radiant, and especially it being in Sagittarius, it's like you're the adventurer here early part of the month and just wanting to get out and about, and good for you. Later on in the month, it's going to be joining that 4th house with a crowd of the other little planets, so they're going to party together there and do what they need to do in the home environment. So you're going to have to balance a lot here between what your home is going to be needing from you and what your career is going to be needing for you. So you might be feeling a little pulled, but you're going to focus on what you know is going to be important to you. So let's take a little look on the dates that we have set for you this month. We'll start there on the 3rd and 4th with a Mars and Jupiter, which is great energies to have together. That Mars is really action-oriented, wants to expand. If you've had any thoughts or plans in place, this is the time to start bringing them out and experiencing them. Good time to get out and about and around. Then we have the 6th. This is going to be a busy month. The 6th, any deeper communication for you is going to be important. This might be with a family member or a parent that needs to, or a spouse. If there's been things simmering there for a while, you know, it's like now it's going to come up to the surface. And if you're prepared, then it can come out in a balanced and good way, and not come out explosively, which it could. If we are suppressing energies or in denial of things, then yes, you know, it will just sit there to kind of gives. So be aware, plan for the 6th, that something's coming up, and if you're in charge, then it's good. If you're bringing it up, then it's good. You have Saturn there supporting this issue. And Saturn sets the scene for taking authority and responsibility. So Saturn will shore up whatever this situation is where you're going to be cutting through. So that's very important days. If there's any contracts, that will be also a good time to do so. For signing for new home, for example, or new leases. The 7th, you might just want to chill out. Don't do too much. Don't push yourself. The energies are not in harmony. Mars wants to move and Saturn says no. When I say move, it's physically. You want to get out there, be active, and Mars is putting restrictions. So you might as well just check out that day and relax. That's a better way of using this energy, just so it doesn't come to a head one way or the other. And then we have here on the 9th, we will have Venus entering your house, 4th house of home and family matters. And then we have the new moon on January 11th, which is the time to plant all new seeds, new ideas, concepts, whatever it is that you're wanting to initiate. If it's a new business, well then good for you. Great time to do that. Since the new moon is going to be in your area here of your home and family and parents, that might be where you're going to plant those seeds. Yeah, make your intentions very clear to the universe there on the 11th. I jumped over here. Wanted to mention just a day or two before there on the 9th, Venus is going to be sextile Neptune, which is a beautiful romantic date to be with your other, whether it's a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or even meeting somebody that's new. And for you, this will also be close by. It's not far away. It should be in the close vicinity of where you live. Then we have Venus and Pluto. This is 16th and 17th. Also in your home environment. This is why I'm saying this month is going to be so busy for you here at home. So that Venus-Pluto, if you're looking to upgrade, this is going to be a wonderful time to do that, to beautify, to paint walls, lay down new floors, get new appliances, new bed sets, curtains, put up art on the walls. Anything to transform your home at this time is a fantastic, good time. It's also a wonderful time to help your parents with something that they may need to have done at their residence. So we're looking at both the 16th and 17th, because as Venus is conjuncting with Pluto, it's also sextile in Saturn. So if you're looking to buy a home or you're moving into a new place, good for you. You will have all the energy that you need to implement everything, to get everything up and running. And then we have a good time for any contracts, talks, communications there on the 18th. And we have the Sun moving into the part on your solar chart of the 5th house, into Aquarius there on the 19th. This means that whatever you've been, should I say, held down with all this energy at home, now is time to have fun. So anytime after the 19th there, you can see that you can start going out and meeting up with friends. It's time for love, it's time for romance, it's time to really escape some of those responsibilities. Because, you know, when you have so much going on at home, what it's going to do, it's going to put you between a rock and a hard place, and you're going to have to balance between your career and what's going on at home. So you might feel pulled like this. So at least when you come there to the 19th, you can say, thank God I'm out of it. Now I can at least start breathing and enjoying again. So you'll do that all month from the 19th and throughout their February. And coming close to the end of the month, we still got a couple of things to mention. We have papers, documents on the 21st, 22nd that might become important to you, or also communications with people far away. It could be over the wires, the network, it could be foreign countries, it could be out of state. Any of those will prove to be very supportive and good for you. And you might also be receiving something that you initiated earlier in the month. So this would be the time that you would get some of that feedback.